Hi, this is Miriam Buhr, and in this video I want to talk about the internal versus the external controls that we assign to our personalities. So the question that I want to explore is, how do you perceive problems? Do you adopt an internal locus of control or an external locus of control? Where do you locate the control? Psych stuff, isn't it? Psychology at work. But let's look at this, because we sometimes have issues when it comes to this type of thinking, whether it's internal or externally based. You are external if you place the responsibility for the way that you feel, that emotional state that you have in that immediate moment, to someone else or to something outside of yourself. So, for example, if you were to ask the question, why do you feel bad? And you responded with answers like, things aren't going my way, my sister just made me feel like a jerk, my friends don't get me, my upline doesn't help me out, then you are actually in an external category. Okay? You are placing that locus of control on an external basis. On the same wavelength, okay, if you were to ask somebody, why are you happy, and they would respond with, well, my business just turning out great, my teacher gets me now, she really has come through for me. Believe it or not, you're still in an external frame of reference. You're putting the responsibility for how you feel on somebody else or on something outside of you. When we talk about the internal locus of control, the person actually puts the responsibility for how they feel, for how he or she feels. They put it straight on their own shoulders. And it's interesting, we don't get to see this a lot. Not a lot of people act this way. So if we were to ask the same questions, why do you feel bad? Okay, to an internally oriented person, they would respond with, well, I put too much emphasis on what other people say, or I worry about other people and what they think, or I don't think I have the stamina to make this business work for me. Go ahead. Talk to a person who is internally put together, and they'll say things like I just mentioned. You know, they're always putting the emphasis on the I, on the me. You know, I made things work for me. I tell myself the right things. I take charge of my life, and I choose my standards. Okay. Many people place the blame on external sources. Okay. They embrace externally directed kinds of thinking. And I keep asking, I ask, you know, where do I fit in? Where do you fit in? And when I answer, I'll be honest, I've been in both situations. I've put the responsibility on both sources, internally as well as externally. Where do you think all these shoulds or these rules or traditions came from? They're from the people around us, the authority figures. Okay? They come from something or someone outside of us. Now, if you're loaded with all these shoulds, these little rules that are all in your head, you know, all these voices that are telling you what you should be doing right now, and you can't seem to break away from that noise, those rules that are set by other people, then you are actually being affected by these externally based sources, and you tend to embrace this external type of thinking, and you'll never find self-fulfillment if you insist on allowing yourself to be controlled by external forces, or you persist in thinking that you are controlled by stuff that's outside of you, okay? External forces. Now, to be effective, it doesn't mean that you have to get rid of everything that's going on in your life, all the problems that you have. I mean, I don't know anybody that can do that. Do you? What it does mean is that you move closer to your locus of control from an external to an internally based focus. So that way, you take more responsibility for everything that you experience emotionally. It takes a little bit of time, especially if you're stuck in that mode of externally based thinking. Just remember, you're not a robot. You're not running around life, the maze of life, like a little scared mouse, filled up with all other people's rules, the shoulds, that don't even make sense to you. You can make things work for you by looking at these rules and beginning to exercise some internal control over your own thinking, over your own feelings, and over your own behavior. I've been talking about the external versus the internal locus of control, and where we place the responsibility for our actions and our decisions. Okay. I'm Miriam Buhr. Head over to miriambuhr.com, and I'll catch you, or you'll catch me, on my next video. Talk to you later. Ciao.